Hi folks, how you doing and welcome to my channel. Narcissistic abuse, you know something? I think everyone at this time has heard of narcissism, a narcissist, narcissistic abuse recovery. And I think for the first time ever, we are having those difficult conversations. And has narcissism been around for a long time? It has. Well, why now do we hear of people? People would not have mentioned the word narcissist back in your grandparents' time. Possibly not even your parents, depending on how old you are. So why now, when you go on social media, YouTube, doctors' waiting rooms, counselling waiting rooms, friendship groups, family groups, are we hearing the word narcissist on the news as well? Why? Because we're asking questions, because we're questioning our realities, we're understanding that actually something's not right and that we need to heal, and we're trying to make sense of it. And I think for one of the first times ever, many people are starting to ask why. They're trying to make sense of something. And this is the beauty of social media, and it's the beauty of connection, because also as well it's the beauty of many people on the world stage at this time that have this personality disorder, and they are known as a narcissist. And it's getting people to ask questions, to answer questions, to dive deep. And why am I doing this video? I'm doing this video because right now narcissistic abuse is the biggest. Honestly, it's a pandemic. It is affecting so many people. It is affecting so many groups, community groups, family groups, workspaces. It's affecting the world stage, and its effects run deep, and really deep in fact. And its effects can cause trauma long after the last narcissistic comment has been passed, long after the narcissist has died. The effects of that run deep and are being passed down. And then people receive this gift that keeps on giving and don't understand why it's come. Where has it come from? Family lines are absolutely infected with narcissism. We've got, I am not a psychologist, so I'm not going to go in and tell you all the signs and symptoms of being a narcissist. That's not what I do. There's plenty of content out there where people have done. This video is about how can I heal after that. So if you feel as though you've been the victim of a narcissist or narcissistic abuse, this is a point when you've been drawn to watch this video of healing, of how you go forward from this point. Because you've probably done your research, you've probably looked into it, you've probably understood what it is and the impact it has on the people around them. And now it's about healing it, but also as well understanding it from a spiritual level, from a shamanic level, from a healing level. Also as well, I think social media at the minute is absolutely feeding the narcissism within us all. The need for gratification, the need for likes, the need for followers, the need for subscribers, the need for attention. Honestly, it's a poison. It's a poison that runs through us all. And if you've been watching me a while, you know that's what I always teach. That it's not just about looking at the person you deem a narcissist, but also looking within. To use this experience within our life as an opportunity to look within. It's so easy to diagnose somebody else with everything at the minute. It's so easy to look at the chaos out there and point the finger and judge. We all do it. But what's really hard is to look within, to look at our life pattern, to look at our generational pattern, to look at our present life pattern, to look at our shadows, to look at our vulnerabilities and our weak spots. Because the truth is, the narcissist needs vulnerabilities and weak spots to be able to get into you. The narcissist cannot get into someone that has a strong sense of self. They just can't, which is why you hear a lot of children experiencing it with parents. Because as a child, you come into the world and as yet you don't have a strong sense of self. Even if you've got thousands of past lives behind you, it gets wiped, which is cruel, I know, it gets wiped. And you get little snippets of memories, but that's by the by. You're having to start again. You're having to learn to walk again. You're having to learn to feed yourself again. You're having to learn to live again, to exist again. And you're having to find yourself again. So that's why if you've had a narcissistic parent, you are easy pickings. Because number one, they're your parents, so they have full dominance over you. And you're not even formed yet. You have no sense of self. Which is why when you've had a narcissistic parent, you struggle with a sense of self. So finding a sense of self is paramount. If you wonder why I'm looking down, I've got some notes because I didn't want to forget anything. So how does narcissism affect us? Boy, honestly, it affects us in so many ways. It affects us physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And it destroys you. It destroys you. It belittles you. It humiliates you. It torments you. It fragments you. You feel like you've had something stolen. You have your soul essence. You feel utter contempt for yourself. You can feel like you're a dark, evil, demonic person because the narcissist is great at doing that. Honestly, mwah, perfect at it. You can feel traumatized even before you've set out into the world. You can feel depleted, sad, tragic, lost, vulnerable, angry, resentful, jealous. It can make you feel disillusioned. It can make you feel suicidal, depressed, full of anxiety. It can affect your mojo for life. It can affect your sense of self. I mean, honestly, your sense of self takes a hammering. But do you know what? I'm going to come to this in another bit, but in case I forget, actually having a narcissistic connection with someone, so you know a narcissist and you're a victim of abuse, by actually experiencing the whole narcissistic abuse thing is actually a gift. What are you on about now, Claire? You're triggering me now, Claire. You pushed me too far. I don't apologise. I'll keep going. Because when you get into a combination with a narcissist, when you're ready to heal, you need a sense of self. And actually, getting a sense of self comes from knowing the narcissist. Because in order to survive the narcissist, you have to find out who you are. So that is part of your recovery, the sense of yourself, the sense of who you really are as a person, not who the narcissist portrays you as. So, for example, say you've got two women, okay? These two women are very different. One woman is a malignant narcissist. The other woman is not a narcissist. This woman has been going about her life and her career tickety-boo. She's found her niche. She's found her gift. Boom. She's got a good, solid family background. Thankfully, she's already aware of mental health issues and she's already got the support there. So in comes a malignant narcissist, okay? And this malignant narcissist starts to cause chaos for this woman here. So this woman, because she's got a strong sense of self, do you know what she does? She rises and she rises and she rises. And the people watch her and go, God, you're bossing this. If that was me, I'd be on the floor. If I was a victim of that, I'd be crying, I'd be raging, I'd be in pieces. But look at you. Every time we see you, you're shining, you're shining, you're shining. In fact, you're going from strength to strength to strength. And in fact, you're seemingly very queenly. Who's she talking about, I wonder? I don't know. I'm using a well-known example at the minute. So the reason why this woman can rise is because she's got a strong sense of self. She's had a good upbringing, she's had a good education, she's got a good head on her shoulders. She's not perfect, nobody says she was. She's got a good relationship about her, she's got a good network, she knows her worth. So when dipstick here comes in, you've got no chance, lass. Sit yourself back down, get on a boat and sail away. So she does, she sails away, but she continues to cause chaos. Because actually, the truth is that this lass here, girl, female, wants a bit of this. She wants a bit of this. She's got none of this sense of self because she's not got the upbringing, she's not got the background, she's not even got the relationship, she's not got any of it. So she tries to get it off of her, doing all kinds of crazy evil stuff, and it can't win. She just rises and rises and rises. So why is that? Because this woman here has got a strong sense of self. She's had a good upbringing, she's got good grounding, she's got good education, she's got a good system around her. And that, I think, as well, is a lesson to everyone at this time, that if you come into contact with your own narcissist, you've got to work on yourself. There is no point thinking, how can I heal them? How can I change them? What can I do to make this better? One day they'll get better. You've got to think, right, okay, fair enough. I can't do anything about this. Take them out of the equation. But what I can do is I can rise and I can work on my self-worth. But Claire, I am struggling as a victim of narcissism, but I'm not like Miss C here, or Miss C, or Miss Wales. I knew she was talking about them too. You guessed it. So Miss Wales here, Mrs. Wales. Okay, so you're saying to me you've not got the upbringing, you've not had the foundations that she's had. Okay, fair enough. You still got power, because okay, you may not have had that, but you can now start to parent yourself. One of the big soul contracts out at the minute, which many people have had, is having to reparent yourself. It's having to draw a line under the chaos and reparent yourself and re-nurture yourself. So, right, okay, you're a victim of the narcissist, so you've not got the background, not the background and the grounding to heal yourself. Reparent yourself. You start to learn and observe what it is to have a normal, loving family background. You read books about it. You watch people that have it. You talk to people that have it. You go to therapists and healers, and you start to learn how to reparent yourself. And, you know, well, I've not got what she's got around me. I've not got that support network. Well, you've got to form that. So when you come in touch with a narcissist, it's a journey. It's a real journey of self-growth for you to take yourself forward. And there has to come a point where you think, I need to heal. I need to get better. And you may think, yes, but I'm not the narcissist, so why should I heal? Because you've been on the receiving end of it. You've been on the receiving end of it, and my eye, I've got an eyelash in my eye. Excuse me. Take that out. So you need to heal. You need to start your healing journey. And actually, being within the company of a narcissist is actually a great way to recommune with yourself. And it's a great way to peel back the layers to see your vulnerabilities. Because another thing as well, if you've got the strong sense of self, if they, pick on your career or your weight or your intelligence or your life, but you know you're not that, they can't get in. It comes to your energy field, and it bounces back, because actually it's not true. You know that actually this is a reflection of them. They're trying to send it back to you. Whatever a narcissist does to you and accuses you of, it's because they know full well that they're that. So moving away from the two women that I'm using as an example, and bringing it back to you, the follower, the watcher, is working on those weak spots. And if it's been your parent, you're going to have to reparent yourself. You're going to have to learn what love is. You're going to have to learn what compassion is. You're going to have to learn what nurturing is. You're going to have to learn what safety is. You're going to have to learn it all. But you know something? That is one of the greatest gifts that you can be given. It really is. Because actually, to be able to then go out into the world and relearn all that is an absolute gift, because it actually gives you the second chance. It gives you the opportunity to reinvent yourself, traumatized version of you and healing version of you, and then healed version of you. And I think one of the problem is, and even with the narcissist, is that nobody seems to have a strong sense of self. Very few people know why they're born. Very few people know why they're incarnated onto earth. Very few people know why they're here. Very few people know the meaning of life. And that's why was one of the reasons why we've got this issue. Also, as well, with narcissistic abuse, and some of the time, there's also what we call external energy involved. So say if they've got, an entity, the entity can make them narcissistic. Oh, honestly, there's some entities love that. They absolutely love that. So, right, God, the narcissist is also trauma. So you're dealing with that trauma, you're dealing with the lack of sense of self. You're also dealing with an entity, in a lot of, I'd say most cases. So you're also dealing with an entity or entities. Maybe if they've got more than one. What does that tell you about that person? If you take this into entity energy now, what do entities need? Sustenance. Think of vampires. Think of an entity as a vampire. What do they need? Energy. They need fulfillment. They need meat. Energetic meat. They need trauma, upset. They need somebody to beg them to stop. They need to be above everyone. They need to be looking down on everyone. They need to be the big I am. They need all of that to entities. They're greedy. They feed. Where do you think Bram Stoker got his stuff from for Dracula? I mean, the whole energetic vampire thing is a complex subject. So not giving them the feed that they need. And again, this is not a one-stop shop. This is not something you come and that's it. And you get it. It's not. Healing from narcissism can take years. Can take lifetimes. Why I say, quit all this, I'm going to be here for one more incarnation and that's it. Clear that. Because actually to do this properly, it takes practice. It takes lifetimes. I've just had a comment on the, what's it called? Barbara Hutton channeling. And somebody said something of why would you keep incarnating? What did you say about, let me see if I can get the comment back up at this point in the video. I probably will, because I think there's quite a few there at the time of doing this. I'll try my best. Apologies while I flick through and find it. Can't find it now. I responded, so I think I responded to it. Apologies, I think I found it. Maybe not. All three women are personality disordered. Why does the soul reincarnate repeatedly with personality disorders? Because it takes many lifetimes to heal it. If you're talking about personality disorders, very rarely are you going to heal it in one lifetime. And actually, if you think about, so this was a Barbara Hutton video, and we talked about in that the fact that she's now got a reincarnation as Amber Heard. If you think about the story of Amber Heard, her narcissism was blatant for the world to see. Not only was it blatant for the world to see, it was blatant for her to see. It was loud, proud, in your face. That was a wake-up call for her. Did she take it? Let's not get into it. But this is what I mean. It takes lifetimes. It's, healing and learning is not something that can just be click like that. You talk to anyone that's been on their healing journey, especially narcissistic healing journey, they'll tell you it's a roller coaster. It's a total roller coaster. Because just when you think, I've got it, you come out of your healing session, you come out of your counselling session, you or whatever you've used to heal, and you think, I'm on it, and then in it comes again, and you think you're not on it because you find yourself straight bang smack in that space again. And then you've got to pick yourself up, you get annoyed because I should have known, my counsellor said this, healer said this, but that's part of it. That's part of it. But think about the previous you that had never had the healing, that when that came in, you weren't even aware of it. You were just aware that you were a bad person, that this great person was making you feel like this. So it's looking at these steps, and I think with any healing journey, whether it's healing from narcissistic abuse or physical abuse or whatever abuse it is not looking at how far you've to go, but looking at how far you've to look at how far you've gone, how far you've come since old trauma due. That's much more healthy than thinking, God, I'm not there yet, but I'm not there. So rather than monitor yourself looking forward, monitor yourself at how far you've come. That's how you change the game. And then you'll realise that actually you've come a lot further than what you think. Honestly, it works. So clearing up those chinks in your armour, getting a strong sense of self, investing in yourself, investing in your self-worth, spending time on yourself and spending money on yourself as well if it's needed. If you need to, if there's a therapist that actually you want to go to because they've been recommended, go for it. You know, I've done videos on abundance. The universe loves that kind of thing. You'd be surprised at what can happen, the shifts that can happen when we step out of lack, because the universe absolutely loves it, and it will assist you. What feeds narcissism? So what within us feeds them? I've kind of covered this. So what within us feeds them. Lack of sense of self, lack of sense of being, lack of knowledge, lack of power. Knowing that you've got an issue with your weight, knowing that you've got an issue with your looks, your skin colour, your sexuality, knowing that you've got an issue with your intelligence, whatever that issue is, whatever they see as a vulnerability. Also as well, if you're a people pleaser that just wants to run after people and make things better and make people better, honestly, that is a red flag. Been there, done that. I need to make them better. I need to make them better. You see it a lot with children and older parents, where they literally sacrifice themselves for the older parent to a point of moving them into houses, into their own home, or moving in with them, or being at their beck and call every day on the phone, etc, etc, etc. So not try, and as well, parents with children that literally, I've got to make them better, I've got to make them better. It can actually make you vulnerable. It can make you really vulnerable to a person with that kind of personality disorder, to exploit that, and that happens a lot. So how do we break away from it? That's a complex one. So if you're in a relationship with them, you have to think about that relationship, and you have to think about when you're going to step away. Because if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's not good, it's not funny, it's not big, and it's not clever, and it won't get better. Ooh, that rhymed. There was a little rhyme there. So we have to start planning about when we're going to get away. I appreciate that not always can we break away from friendships, relationships physically, but we can break away in different ways. We can stop feeding them. We can learn about, again, take it back to what I've already said, about the sense of self and about the sense of well-being, about the sense of who we are as an individual, healing those chinks in our armour, healing those vulnerabilities, and actually seeing that there's a life away from the narcissist. Because in relationships, love relationships and parental relationships, all kind of relationships with a narcissist, it can feel all-consuming. There can be some really, really good moments, or what we perceive as good moments, where you're brought back in, you're rewarded, you're love bombed. Shall I use an example of that? So you're in a relationship with a narcissist, or a marriage with a narcissist, and it's a push-pull energy. And there's times where they'll push you to one side, they'll ignore you, they'll say things, they'll separate you from your family, from your friends, from your community. They want full control over you. You'll realise that they've lost very few people. You'll realise their community is a lot bigger than your community. You'll realise that you've lost it all, okay? And you'll then they'll start withdrawing their affection. And then all of a sudden, they'll love bomb you, they'll be cuddling you, kissing you, you sexy, all of that. And people go, you see, I told you they want a narcissist, look, she's all over him, yeah? And, or, look, he's all over her, etc. Oh, no, she does love me, she's not a narcissist, because look, she's kissing me, she's doing this, she's doing that. It's lovely. He's invited me on a date. It's how they get you in. And then there's a point where you get slapped back down again. And So it's important to start building your life away and to start breaking away, to start talking, to start having therapy, to start admitting there's a problem, to start also admitting about your own weak spots of how that was able to happen, how somebody was able to come into your life and take you away from everything that you knew, how a parent was able to control your life, how a work colleague was able to demean you and abuse you and all of that. How did that happen? What was within me that enabled that to happen? So therapy, healing, reading books. I mean, honestly, for the first time ever, YouTube channels, TikTok channels, books, pamphlets. We have never, ever, ever had such access to healing material ever. I am astounded and grateful for all the different therapies. When I meet clients in one-to-one sessions and they tell me about their jobs, and I'm like, whoa, all the different therapies that are out there. We have never, there is no excuse. There is no excuse. Even if money is an issue, there is no excuse, because there are charities out there. There are people that are doing voluntary work out there. There's YouTube people. Richard Grannon is someone good to follow. If I remember, I will put his YouTube channel below. There's all kinds of different people online that you can follow. So if you're coming out of a relationship or a family dynamic and you're penniless, there's still things you can have access to. There's online communities. You just got to look. You've got to be willing to put in the boot work and look for this kind of stuff. There's books, there's pamphlets, there's channels where you one click and you're on there, and they've got reams of content that you can work your way through. I know Richard does a lot of Q&As where he does lives where you can go on for an hour or 2 hours, and I think sometimes 3 hours, and it just unravels, you know what I mean? You get all that free content. What's not to like about it? And the amount of healers that we've got. You can have healers, your local healers. You can have distance healing with someone like me. So you think, well, actually, I might live in Australia, but I kind of like, we can have distance healing. There's so much. There's actually no excuse. There's no excuse for not healing. There's no excuse. You can't blame it on anything. You can't blame it because, there's also NHS healthcare within England, within the United Kingdom. There is something out there. There is something out there that can help you. Even if it's just going onto YouTube. Let's try it. Let me try it. We go onto YouTube and we type in meditations. We know there's a whole host of meditations out there. Abuse recovery meditations. And they're on there. Guided meditations. Releasing negative trauma from the body. There's loads of them. There is loads of them. So there's lots of stuff out there. I mean, just go onto YouTube now and type it in. Loads. Reams of it. So, how do we break away? Exactly that. Why do they do it? Because they've got no sense of self. Because and this is the sad part of it, because they are also a victim. They are also a victim in some way, shape or form. At one point, something awful happened to them and it warped them. And we don't want that to happen to you, because it can. Because being the victim of a narcissist can turn you into a narcissist. So that's why, again, it's a red flag. We do not want to end up like them. We know there are so many stories of people that become the abuser, be it physical, sexual, emotional, mental, spiritual. So that's why they do it. They need to have the one-upmanship on you. They can sense your vulnerabilities a mile off. How can I stop it? You can't. You can't stop it. You can't stop what they're doing. Clear that off. You can't stop it. It's a waste of time. Your power lies within yourself, your reactions, your life. You've got to think, right, this is done. It's in the past, or it could be in the present also. Where's my power? My power is now, and my power is building a successful life from this. My power is in healing. My power is in forgiveness, acceptance, recovery, letting go. That's where your power is. You can't help them. You can't save them. We are not meant to be saved. This whole energy of waiting for someone to come in and save us is disgraceful, because it can't happen. We have to save ourselves. You can't do it, but what you can do is change, and I've just said that. So that's my bullet points. You can't change them, but you can change yourself. And once you get your sense of self, and once you've built it up, they step back. They start to step back. They could be around for a while, trying to chip in or trying to find different ways in. Can't try that anymore. She's got that healed. So I'll try that. But the more they're doing that, the stronger that you're becoming as an individual. So let's pull some cards. The first deck I'm going to use is called Believe in Your Own Magic by Amanda Lovelace. And the reason why I'm using it, is because of the name of the title. Believe in Your Own Magic. So, what makes a narcissist? What makes a narcissist? What makes a narcissist? Release your guilt, Clover. Confidence, it comes with practice. Because somewhere within them is guilt. They've done something. They've been the victim of something. They can't release that trauma. They can't reach out and have healthy relationships and friendships. They lack confidence. They lack it. They also get attracted to people that flourish in confidence. They also get, they're attracted to people that are successful, that are doing well, which is why as well. So you say to me now, not only are you vulnerable to them if you're traumatized, if you've got chinks in your armour, but you're also vulnerable to them if you're successful. Yes. The difference is you've got to have a strong sense of self. So if you're successful and you're like Miss Wales that I mentioned to you earlier, yes, it will have hurt. Yes, she will have been knocked, but she rises. It's your foundations. You've got to get your foundations in place. And if your foundations haven't been put in place via a parent or a bringing up system, you have to do it yourself. We've not got the time to be sat pondering the fact that it wasn't placed there for us. We have to place it ourselves. So looking at this from another perspective is, are you confident? Are you confident in yourself? Are you confident in your ability to thrive? Are you confident in your ability to survive? Are you confident in your skin? Why are you not confident in your skin? Are you guilty over something? Can they use something against you? Which they will do. Ooh, wow. I love this deck. And I use it quite often for myself and sometimes with my clients. I've never ever seen this card in it, and it's called Shark. Swim away from this situation. Now look at this. She's beautiful. But you know what? He's going to tell her she's fat. He's going to tell her she's ugly. He's going to destroy her from the inside out. She is vulnerable. She knows she's vulnerable, but in a good way. But she's sensing this danger and she's swimming away. You see, think about a shark. You're out, you're swimming, the sun's shining, you've had a cocktail, you're on holiday, you're staying in a great place, you're in this beautiful blue sea, you see a shark, what are you going to do? You're going to swim away. So why don't we do the same with the narcissist? Why do we swim to it? So, if you think about a shark, it needs your blood. It needs your bones, your body to feed on. It can't survive without you. So they're always looking. They can creep up behind you. You can't hear footsteps. They creep up behind you. So this isn't about going out into the world going, oh, God, is there one around me? It comes right back to what I keep saying. Sense of self. So the next deck I'm going to use is the Gaian Tarot, which is one of those big chunky decks. What makes a narcissist? What makes a narcissist? Oops. Guardian of water. They don't want to be vulnerable themselves. So as well, if you're vulnerable and you're happy in your skin and you wear your costume, even though you know you're a little bit curvier than anybody else, they don't like that. They hate that. They hate the fact that you're so aligned. They're not aligned. It's too bright for them. It's too bright for them. God, that is a big deck, is that? Christ consciousness deck now. So, what makes a narcissist? What makes a narcissist? Living from the heart, soften and open. They can't live from the heart. They can't live from the heart. They want to. There'll be a part of them that wants to. There's a part of them that's aware of it. But they can't. Something came in and destroyed that heart chakra. Something came in to close it. Manifest and believe. They're operating from an energy of lack. What is the narcissist trying to teach us about ourselves? I'll ask that to each deck as well. What is the narcissist trying to teach us about ourselves? To forgive. To forgive. To understand that you're dealing with somebody that is also a victim of a trauma, of abuse. And that I know it's, I get it. I get it's hard. But that's what we need to work towards. And that can sometimes feel hopeless. We're all just stardust. That we've been everything. Maybe as well it's part of the spiritual journey, the awakening journey. We sit up there on our little heavenly thrones and decide I need to explore this aspect about myself. If you think about awakening though, it's very much like the recovery from the narcissistic abuse. You've got to awaken to yourself. You've got to rebirth yourself. You've got to reparent yourself. So it's so important that when you are the victim, that you go, yes, I was the victim, but now I'm going to be the survivor of narcissistic abuse. You're not pretending it's not happened. You're not saying, by saying I'm a survivor of narcissistic abuse, you're saying you're a survivor and you're also acknowledging the abuse. But by saying I'm a victim, you're saying you're a victim. You're saying it's still happening. You're saying that you're still there, and that's the difference as well. And that comes with forgiveness and acceptance. And it's not the type of acceptance of, oh God, I'm hopeless, this is going to go on forever. It's acceptance to free you. And just because you forgive someone doesn't mean to say you make it right and that you're all dancing around a maypole, kumbaya and all of that. It's not about that. And if you think it is, you're not getting it. You're not getting the fact of what forgiveness is. Because I always get that. I always get one comment about that, especially when I go down these rabbit holes. And we need to be better than that. We need to be better than that because, as well, and I say this a lot when I'm talking about narcissism, it's a reflection back to us of something within us we need to heal. Also, as well, we will have been a narcissist in a past life. So again, it's a karma rebalancing. If you think about a child that has a narcissistic parent, the chances are there will be narcissistic traits within that child. Number one, learnt behaviour. Number two, we know things travel through the bloodline. We know it travels into your bones, your tissues, your blood. So of course it's going to be there. That's why it's so important, especially if it's parent, that you get healing as soon as you're aware of it. Because otherwise you will become your parent. There's a lot of that at the minute as well. There's a lot of people that despise their parents but are becoming their parents. And it's crazy when you see it. It's like, this is nuts. So, what is the narcissist trying to teach us about ourselves? Holy Spirit, work through me. Relieving suffering, move beyond pain. At some point, if you're classing yourself on your healing journey, we have to move beyond the pain of it. we can't stay in the pain of it, because it just festers, then we become ill. So we have to choose something higher than the abuse. We have to want to go higher, think higher, react higher. And I know it's painful, it's hard. It doesn't just happen overnight, I swear to you it doesn't. I'm always truthful. It takes time and diligence, and it's a craft. Recovery and healing is a craft. You think about an alcoholic, you know, the 12-step program, which is great, but it's a lifetime's craft. It's a lifetime's work. They have to be in healing. They may not always be seeing a therapist or going to a group, but although most people do, forever, it's a lifetime's healing. So what makes this any different? It's the same with any form of abuse. You're always going to have to check in with yourself. There's always another layer of the onion that's going to want to be peeled away, but in a time when you're ready for it. And that's a good thing to know about the healing journey. If something comes up on your healing journey that upsets you or frightens you or scares you about whatever, you're actually meant to experience that. Because if you weren't ready for it, you won't experience it. Say if you have a healing session, it's painful, it's emotionally painful, and it floods you with anxiety because you're purging from a trauma. You wouldn't have had that if you weren't ready for it. So rather than looking at healing or that aspect of healing that's difficult as, oh God, and I can't do it, think actually, the universe wouldn't have brought me here if I couldn't. I've told you I had healing ceremonies for myself when I was in training, where you're shitting through the eye of a needle, and I've been vomiting at the same time, and I've been sweating at the same time, and weeing myself at the same time, and having panic attacks when I was at a ceremony. Literally, you have not seen anything like it. That went on for a week, and it was a cleansing ceremony. Because when you do the shamanic path and you do the shamanic practitioner training, you're put through many different ceremonies. Honestly, it's when people say to me, oh, I want to be a shamanic practitioner, Claire, you have to be you have to get yourself to a certain place to be able to do it. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I remember when I had the first ever curse taken off of me, and literally I had the metal head afterwards. I felt so ill, and it was like, oh my God, what's happened to me? I knew I'd had this curse removed off me, if it was a past life curse, and it was like I felt horrific. I felt like I was dying. You know what? I was dying. You what, Claire? You are dying. Because when you have healing, the old version of you is dying. So you can feel, ugh. Honestly, it can be crazy. Like I told you after that ceremony, vomiting at the same time as vomiting, diarrhea, urinating myself, sweating and having a panic, and literally, honestly, all of it at the same time for 7 days. Then it was just like, it was a weird time. It was almost like then I had to build up my strength again. Many people that walk the shamanic path have that experience in different ways. So yeah, healing can be literally blood, sweat, tears and feces. I hope no one's eating watching this. Let me know in the comments if you're eating and if you've just stopped. So what is the narcissist trying to teach us about ourselves at this time? 8 of Earth. I like that card, look at it. It's a father and daughter on drums. Guardian of water. If you've been born to or adopted by a narcissistic parent, you are actually one of the ones that are coming in to retrain, to clear that mess up. You're actually one of the ones that were needed to clear the bloodline. And no, it's not up to you to heal your ancestors or heal your family members. People keep thinking that. It's not up to you to heal your ancestors. It's from you onwards. When you heal anyway, it sends healing to your ancestors. It automatically happens. It stops with me. It's that kind of energy. It stops with me. So if that's the case, it's about not being like them. The silent treatment, the passive aggressiveness and all of that. which can be really hard because that's what you've been shown and that's actually what you feel like doing because it's getting done to you. But then you were made for these times. You were born for these times. It stops with me. Say that now. It stops with me. In fact, put it in the comments and spread it out. It stops with me from now. So where is this leading? This is leading to my next group healing, which is a hugely, hugely important one because it's going to be about healing the narcissistic wounding. It's going to be about healing the narcissistic abuse. It's going to be about clearing the debris. It's about clearing the next layer of the onion for you. It doesn't matter whether you've already been on your healing journey or whether you're just beginning or halfway through. It can be a top up, it can be a level up, and it can be a starting point for you. I was thinking about this video earlier and I was thinking, what do I want the group healing to be about? And what I got was 2 days where you receive unconditional love. Because when you're the survivor, victim of a narcissist, there's no love given. Even though sometimes they claim there isn't. It's about 2 days of literally flowing unconditional love throughout each person that's on it. And when you put love and light into something, things can purge up. And when you've been the victim of this, and everyone has, even if we don't realise it, because society itself is narcissistic, the system is narcissistic as well, it can be painful because we're shown aspects of ourselves when our vulnerabilities were exposed. Our scars, our wounding was exposed. So to then go on a healing that could revisit that can be quite frightening. Don't let it. Don't let it. It's about clearing away the gunk so you can see a clearer way ahead. It's giving your body the chance to realign and readjust. I'm also going to be cutting cords during this healing. I've decided I'm cutting cords. So if you're on the healing, or if you're going to put yourself on the healing, and you are aware of who your narcissist is, or who the narcissist is, not your narcissist, make sure that before that session goes, you're in a place where you've forgiven them and you've released them. Because if you don't and that cord gets cut, they'll come back. Or the cord just won't sever. Because that's the intention it'll do. If it's not been learnt and cleared, it won't sever. It'll flag it up that it needs that kind of thing, that kind of healing, that kind of forgiveness and acceptance. Let's pull the cards. Next group healing. What can it give for those watching? Next group healing. How can it help those that put their name down for it? Garden. Something lovely will grow from this. Something lovely will grow from this. Isn't that beautiful? Something lovely will grow from this. Release your guilt. Because as well with a narcissistic abuser, you will hold so much guilt. And that is one of the most painful aspects of it. The guilt that you hold from it. And it's not your guilt to hold, but boy, is it given to you with a bow on and glittery paper. Release your guilt and something lovely will grow from this. And I'm noticing as well that we're doing this healing right bang in the middle of autumn. The 26th and 27th of October, which is it's in the middle of autumn. It's a time when the leaves are falling. If we think about the tree, letting go of the leaves and how beautiful it is, how they dance down, letting go of the leaves so the new buds can grow. So you're going to be letting go of your old leaves that have served you well, so you make space for the new buds to grow. Because there's many people that are holding on to those leaves, they don't want to let them go. So the new blossom and the new buds can't grow from it. It's a time of hibernation as well. So if you're doing this group healing, you want to make sure there's periods, you don't have to spend the whole lot of it hibernating, but that you really nurture yourself through it. So you go out and you buy if you're a reader, you get yourself some nice books to read through it. You treat yourself to ice crystal if you want. Make sure those days, make yourself wholesome soups or nice salads if you're in the southern hemisphere. making sure those 2 days of healing, you are going to be reparenting yourself. You're going to be nurturing yourself. You're going to be taking yourself off into the woods if you want to. You're going to be doing, you may choose to paint like a child does with all different colours. Inner child will come out to play as well. So it's 2 days where the more that you can put into it, the more that you'll get out of it. If you pay your money and forget that you've paid your money, it's invalid, because you just won't. You've got to be present with it. You've got to be present with yourself. So how is the next group healing going to impact those that take the challenge? The open door. Christ is within you. Find holiness within. So faith and find holiness within. So it's a portal energy. We are doing it around, so we're doing it, is it the full moon? We were doing it the full moon. We've also got the month of eclipses here as well. So we've got new moons, full moons. I think we've got a super moon as well. Maybe it is a super moon. Who knows? Irrelevant. It's about a portal. We're also doing it just before the 11/11 portal. So what a great... Actually, do you know something? Honestly, you won't believe this. When I'm doing group healings, I literally just pick the dates. I don't even look at astrology. I don't look at the moons or anything. I just go out. I flick through my diary at the beginning of the year, and whenever I feel my hand rests, that's where we do the group healing. And then I close everything down for that group healing. It's always around something like this, unless it's an intentional solstice healing. It's always an accident. It always falls just before, during, or after something, which to me just adds to it. So if you're thinking group healing, Claire, oh my God, you live in the UK and I live in America. I can't do it. Yes, you can. It's distant channeled. And that is the beauty of it also. There's no driving, there's no transportation, there's no having to take time off work, there's no having to go to somewhere else. You literally, the minute you pay your money, you'll start to release anyway. Things will start to come to the surface. I will be distance channeling it throughout the day. So there's no links. There's no courses, there's nothing you need to press. You won't get anything from me apart from when you pay your thingy, the website, pay your money, not your thingy. The website will email you something, but that's just the website, that's not me. The website do that, I have nothing to do with that. It's not a Zoom, it's not a class where you have to sit on a Zoom and want to put your camera off because you don't want to look at people. I hate that. To me, I think that's intrusive. I think I'd struggle with a healing like that if I had to go into a Zoom class. I don't know. Never say never. But I am thinking of doing teaching actually. Maybe next year doing some teaching programmes that'll be via Zoom. But I think healing is a different one, isn't it? It's £22 for 2 days distance channelled healing. It's not £22 per day, it's £22 for the full 2 days. I'm a shamanic practitioner and Reiki master. Okay, so it's going to be using the energy of shamanism, the energy of weaving in the energy of Reiki. It's going to be about clearing the debris, cutting the cords, bringing clarity, bringing sense of self, self-compassion, self-love, self. It's going to be about retopping you up. It's going to be about filling up your tank. It's going to be about clearing the way forward if you want it to be cleared, for you to step forward. With healing, and with a lot of good healing, what you'll find is it'll bring stuff up that needs attention, and that's where you jump in. We can't do that for you. You'll be doing that yourself, taking it forward. So journaling, being present, it could flag up that you need counselling. It could flag up that you need a one-on-one session with myself. It could flag up that you need something else with someone else. Whatever it is will be unique to you. And just because it's a group healing doesn't mean to say you're all getting the same, or it's unique to you. You're all getting the same energy from me, but it'll be unique to you. So you'll put 10 people in a room and each person will experience it differently, because it's whatever they're releasing, receiving at that time. So it's always unique to you. It's also about upgrading the body, upgrading the system, realigning the chakra system. Every group healing I do, we bounce up the chakra system as well. The full 2 days I'll be channeling throughout. And that's it. So it's been lovely to spend some time with you, Claire. Shut up. How do I put my name down? I'll tell you. Go into the description box beneath this video. or the comment section, depending on what you can find, the pinned comment. You'll go into it and you'll scroll down a little bit and it'll say next group healing, narcissistic abuse healing. The date 26th and the 27th of October 2023, £22. There's another video there you can watch. You don't have to watch it. You can if you want. The website then should be attached just below and it should say to take part. Click on here and it'll take you straight to the group healing tab. If you're watching this and you want to put somebody else on it, if you think, I know somebody that would benefit from this, you have to ask their permission first. If you ever put anybody else down for a healing, be it a one-to-one, which sometimes people do, I don't accept that. I don't accept people that come in could you heal my son for me? Nope, we cannot do that. Go ask his permission. I can't, he don't want healing. Well, because the thing is, all that happens is it goes to them and it bounces straight back, or there's a kickback from that. You may find that your son gets the ick with you, like a daughter or your husband. So make sure that they know what they're signing up to. Make sure that they've got consent, because otherwise it's pointless. And throughout those 2 days, we avoid things like sexual contact because your soul's open. So we don't want people coming in and in that healing energy. We just don't want it because it'll be so easy to absorb. We avoid things like pork food products because pork is the lowest vibrational food on the planet. If you have pork during a shamanic healing, it will make you feel, it just lowers your vibration down, which we don't want that. You avoid alcohol, you avoid all recreational drugs. You can take medication as normal, and that's it. So, below, in the description box, comment section, get it in before the 26th of October 2023. If you've enjoyed this video, like. If you wanted to put a comment, in the section, because people like to comment but they don't want to comment, if that makes sense. They want to comment but they don't want to comment. You understand, don't you? Put an emoji down. So if you've got to the end of this video and you want to spread some love, maybe put in an orange emoji, a pumpkin, orange heart, orange leaves. Let's get some orange vibes, autumn vibes coming. Full moons, new moons, or just love bombing with love hearts. Share the video if you think it'll help, and subscribe if you want more of this content. So I will see you in the next one, 26th, 27th of October 2023, £22, and you join below. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.